little bit more, but we talk a little bit about substitutions, like Ye coming in as a jet, replacing a jet. Like you said, it's kind of easy, but got a phenomenal Sentinel player in a Proto. Like, phenomenal, one of the best. And that's being kind of swapped around for Moose. Not to say it's a bad thing, but like you kind of highlighted earlier, it's just a interesting dynamic.
Yeah, it's a dynamic that you have to continue to watch and evaluate as it unfolds, because as far as I'm aware, like, Moose was still like very involved with the team, speaking with them regularly and getting ready to come back into the roster. So this could have been something they've been planning for a while. It's been since April since we've seen Moose. Surely he's been practicing a whole lot of this already, though. Up mid, Dazzle's going to take down BCJ, just entering on the Omen, because why not? He's going to lead the charge, and now B-side is completely open for the taking.
There.
And nobody's here, nobody's home. Next set we'll find very late. It's the B side hit, and there's a wall there. Cut off the rotations up into heaven.
Planted.
Second, we'll find that out very quickly. Nobody's up on the boost. Somebody's just gonna break it down.
Still waiting if they pop up. You have to consider, like, a Proto's in heaven, and then Tig is in there for the very late flank into heaven too. So Luminosity have so many options because of the time they've been afforded with this late retake from XSET. They can play it however they want, and they're going to do it by crunching in on mid very late in the round as Tig moves into that flank.
Yeah, does find a pick. Can he find two? Yes, sir. So we just have one final player def taken care of appropriately. Very well done there from LG. The fast push to mid. BCJ was not anticipating it. It's going to give him a nice clean round to start off. That has to feel good for Luminosity's confidence.
Oh, for sure. Starting off, even if it's just a little pistol round, just a little bit of a bump right there can get you back into the swing of things. All right, no problem. Does look like it's going to be a bit of a fake wall over towards A, as Viper will move back towards middle. Just drop the spike off there and can potentially lurk on through. So maybe even a late hit over towards A, as they make a lot of noise here. He'll be holding the angle there. Zekken's got a Sheriff in hand. And again, XSET continue to do this after losing the pistol round on defense, where Def is going to be marshalling. They did that on Haven. And Zekken is going to be holding on to a Sheriff with a Shorty in the hands of Aaron too. So some small investments here to see if they can find some nice little picks. Aaron's even playing that super tight angle over in A main right there. But it doesn't seem like Luminosity are going to bite or try to lurk up late on that one. They're still taking their time, waiting to see if XSET will overstep their bounds for a moment, peek into their own crossfire.
Wasn't it this kind of similar round that XSET almost won with the Marshall?
It was indeed, Simo. It was indeed. I wasn't going to remind anyone, but yes, that has got to be a consideration. There's even the Phantom on your boy Dre. I think it was Moose that was rocking that over on Haven. Here we go, 35 seconds. LG have to commit over towards B.
Okay, Pure, a little bit of a tighter spot, and a little bit unaware at first, but still managed to be taken care of. Your boy Dre just tearing up everybody that's in his way. 4K on the round. Aaron, really late to the party, taken care of as well. A great round from LG. Okay, so it's not going to be the same.
No, it won't be. Your boy Dre decided he's going to heat up a little bit earlier in the map here. Just working against the eco, but a 4K to take in the second round. It's exactly what LG were asking for. And honestly, getting 5 kills onto your Raze early is more important than just, getting some confidence back for your team. That's 5 out of 8 charges on that Raze looking for the rocket. So more than likely going to have that primed and ready to go in the 4th round. Your boy Dre is also carrying over that Phantom too. So it's entirely realistic that you're able to find a pick, get an orb, something like this, and potentially stack that up a little bit quicker for a late round usage of that one. But what am I watching? What am I watching?
That's spiked down. That's spiked down, your boy Dre. Oh, you're in trouble, buddy. The wall goes up, and they're just trying to fight this through. So far, no one's fallen from XSET. There we go, but has to reload the clip is your boy Dre. Yeah, this is deadly from XSET. They don't give up, or they give up a lot of mid control, and then boom, gun round comes out.
Oh my word.
4 players.
They think they're playing Spike Rush and there's the golden gun down bottom mid or something. You don't see that one every day. XSET just charge on down. They've got that Spike on lockdown too. Tig is playing defense now as he has to try and retrieve the Spike from XSET, but man, that is a way to kick off a round 3. I love that. This is the type of stuff you see from XSET that just makes you smile as they completely shut down anything that Luminosity is trying to do. And XSET probably never going to run that play again in this series at the very least, but my word, Luminosity have to consider that it could happen again. You know, you're never going to feel the same going for the jump peek around the corner if you are LG.
Particularly the spike carrier. That's how you know they're comfortable. Yeah, Dazzle, just jump peek. Like we'll see what's up. You're dead. And then another player, and then another player. The Skull Shack is getting a lot of business. Doesn't usually get a lot of business this time of year, but
look, the players are just as hungry as me. Like, you started talking about cabbage last game, and I'll be honest, I'm not much of a salad person. Seafood, though, I can get behind. So Scuttle Shack, okay, a little street food could get the job done. Importantly, your boy Dre got a kill on top of that death, so he's just 1 point away from that ultimate. Just needs a pick or committing to grab an orb, and then all of a sudden his entry onto a site could be absolutely brutal to deal with for the side of XSET. He's already taken so much space. No real play towards mid. This is really surprising, in all honesty, not seeing the Sage put a little bit more pressure down mid, a wall or slow, smokes, anything. No. XSET have decided after last round they pushed 4 members down. Just, yeah, we don't need anyone. Yeah, we're fine. We're just going to play 3 down on B site. This is a really interesting way to hold your position. A lot of these off angles, you know, playing up on rafters to watch that peek into B heaven.
Def's going to see first contact, back away. This is going to be a little bit of an interesting hold for XSET.
He's got that star he can play with too, so he can hold on to that and make it turn into a suck or something like this, and all of a sudden get the lineups too if they wanted to team that up with a Sky Flash, Sage Throws. You have all these tools that if LG overstep, they will get absolutely destroyed.
Oh, Tig playing a little bit too close, and that's actually Spike Carrier down. Tig trying to find that duel against second, finds it, and he's just holding on to the spray from Def. Finally, they will take apart the defense on the site, but at this point, XSET's already come to play, and they've come to party. Tied up 2-2.
Yeah, there was just so much chaos going down on the bottom of the side. It looked good for Luminosity for a little bit. You know, they were able to get Tig down onto the ground. He was good for a couple of kills himself. But again, those flanks coming through, when you have to clear out so many players actually down on the site, sometimes you forget about your flanks. Sometimes just one player wins on that dual pure, being able to sneak up into heaven and get the job done. Now you're on the ground as Tig. You're worried about people above you, on the ground, behind you, around you, all over the place. It is not easy to counteract, and Luminosity are going to be forced into an eco after losing the 4th.
I'm really liking the variance with XSET. Saw this a little bit on Haven, kind of constantly changing things up. This time they've got a little bit more mid presence. Wall going up a little bit early. VCT's actually up, over, and on it. Back away once he finds the frag.
I love it. After a round where they played 4 in mid, the next round they played none in mid. That round they played 3 on B, and the next round there's none on B. You had 1 person in heaven and a more aggressive hold of middle, and now of course you've been able to go back towards heaven. But again, it's like surrendering full B site control to have a tag team in heaven, and then you've also got Zekin playing really deep towards your spawn in these angles where if anyone was to lurk through B, you wouldn't expect him to be waiting for you. It's really clever from XSET, especially up against the eco round of Luminosity, to say, hey, we're actually going to be on guard for any sort of those plays. But the kill from a Proto, it's a nice way to get onto the site, but you're still fighting rifles with pistols. That's not going to be easy at all.
Nice try, Moose. Try. Good effort. XSET will take the lead 3-2. You know, the start here for Luminosity felt very, very comfortable. And I think that kind of comfort is still going to remain the same. But the adaptations from XSET are going to make that a variable in the success of LG for the rest of this match. Look at this, 3 players A now. What this is like? What is telling XSET with this read? What information are they reading from LG to say, okay, we're gonna stack A this round? And we're
now I'm not even sure what they're doing, because they were there for a second. They're trying to bait all of us. I feel like that's a game you could play for pro players. Just bait the casters and convince them you're going somewhere you're not. It is still 3 over towards that B site, but now Luminosity are not so sure that they even want to push up mid. You know, you see some amount of hesitation even in their movements. They're sort of bundled up in sewer for the time being. No control over B main. In theory, someone could have pushed that. It's not like they have a killjoy set up over in that area or anything of the sort. So now you do have Moose going over there to hold off on that angle. I do like the turret in mid to spot if anyone's going to pop out of vents later in the round, if you are able to take B heaven and want to have some amount of control. But even then, Moose has pulled that one back, so he's got that back at his disposal, and they've got a full clear back through B. It's just a lot of time afforded over to the side of XSET as Luminosity just sort of test the water and now finally decide to put down the lockdown. But I'm not even convinced that they're convinced that they are going to commit off of that, you know? This is a very slow take from them. Here we go.
There we go. Showstopper available.
Oh, there's nowhere to run, buddy.
Picking those kills. Your boy Dre finds the showstopper through the smoke. Second. My goodness.
He's got the bullet tracers on. He sees that vandal from a mile away.
Oh no, that's another ult that's been expended. Oh, this is not looking good. Two players remain just down to Dazzle.
I have the spike.
10 seconds left.
Just trying to get the spike planted, but second was that a Viper spit I saw or a cloud? I think that was a cloud.
I thought a Viper's Pit went down as well. There was a little don't get in my way action during the whole process of it. But
it was Tig. They spent so many ults. So many ults that round. Tig, Moose, and your boy Dre. Nothing.
30 seconds left.
You like the setup at the start, right? Like, look at all the utility going back there. I don't even know if the rocket was needed, but then it's the spam through the smoke off the bullet tracers. I believe it was Def that was able to find through that one. Might have been a different player, but regardless, the result is still the same. XSET were able to stop the spike from hitting the floor, and then this overwhelming swarm. This happened a couple of times when LG are sort of late to explode onto the site. Once they get onto the site, it's actually given XSET enough time to move, so they have very quick flanks into heaven, into alley back there behind B site, all these areas. So Luminosity are just sort of worried about so many different angles. They're getting shot in the back of their head, they're getting shot through smokes. It's very challenging to work with because they are a little bit delayed in their time to get on the site. That time it's the lockdown, and yes, of course, usually when you put down the lockdown, you need to wait and allow that to almost nearly expire before you burst out onto the site. Otherwise, someone could just be camping there and going for the play. But again, what it allowed was these very quick rotations from XSET to come in and punish Luminosity after they used all those big ultimates to get onto the site.
That's gotta feel bad for Luminosity. Real bad. That's when you're hoping to like clean up the round. Vibes are good. 3-3. You're like, hey guys, we did it. Nope. You expended everything. You're broke. You're down 2 rounds. They gotta.
And there's a different look from XSET. We haven't seen this wall down mid just yet. VCT's played behind it. Even gets some spam. That's so nice. That is so nice. Thinking back to this Luminosity point too, it's like I haven't really seen them commit to a hard lurk or anything like that. A lot of the time Tig has been playing over towards A, kind of like how he is this round, but hasn't been trying to actually get back up. That's a big one for Moose. He's still got it. He's still got it, folks. Hand, wrist, arm, all in good condition. Finds the head on that, but regardless, it's one of those things where you almost need to have that lurk threat to cut off rotations through mid. Otherwise, again, if you're a little bit slow in your take, you're going to get clamped down on very quickly. And once more, Moose decides not to push through mid, instead to group up with the rest of his team. So they're going to have no control over that area. And the flash out from mid actually tells XSET that there's no one there. They're actually pretty content to chill out and only worry about this A main push.
All's gonna go up. Dazzle's ready here with the paranoia, and that's gonna be a little bit problematic. And Pure will feel that problem. Still, even Def falling behind the screens there. That's gonna be a little bit challenging for XSET to hold on to. Second still doing what he can. He's gonna get walled off, and this actually could be a round. Oh, especially with the flanker from Tig. Second was not expecting that. Lurking all the way through. Almost finds the frag onto Aaron. 2v4 now in favor of LG, and they are in a prime position to win this round. Weapon's not looking great though. Already lost another player. They're all grouped up here behind elbow, but the time is ticking. That is the problem. That's the other player in the lobby that's not accounted for. BCJ just does not care. Pushing up fast, pushing up, moving up, finds another. Okay, 2v2 now, and all of a sudden just down to Aaron as he's already been healed up. The wall is about to be broken. One player behind the flower pot, and it's your boy Dre. A thrifty for LG.
Yeah, very nicely done from LG. I mean, even just, I believe that was Dazzle that just walked straight through A Heaven back onto Rafter. Tapped the player, I think it was Pure actually there, just in the back of the head. Very nicely done from him. It's one of the, maybe potential weakness of XSET is the way they've held sites. They've been like very committed. Oh my God, he was jumping too. I didn't even catch that the first time. Oh, Pure was blinded. Oh, okay. That's nice. I love that. But just all these lurks up through Heaven is really what made it happen for Luminosity, and it's XSET were a little bit light towards that A site, didn't really have anyone committing up into Heaven, didn't have someone sewers or anything like that. We're once again in mid, and just killing everybody and everything.
How do they come out with that? Wasn't there a flash, a paranoia that came through? Players were not able to see, and somehow they come up with a favorable trade. XSET is just a different breed.
Yeah. Pure just traded back a nade into it and just stopped them from swinging out too. It's so nice. The instant reaction notice. That's what I have to do to make sure my team can get out of the situation. But there's still 3 players in mid holding this cross. What is this?
They're like, where are these shots? Oh wait, hold on, Moose. Wall goes up, stops him from any further momentum. He was looking, I want to sprint onto B so bad, and just gets stopped right there by the wall. 1v2 though, very doable for Moose considering both players are very spread apart and the resurrection's already been expended this round.
Oh, look at BCJ though. He's repositioned entirely over towards B main. Aaron's also holding A main, so they're going to have this initial contact. Moose has to win this, but he's not going to expect a Sage to be here already. Can't make it happen.
So, you know, we kind of thought, you even said after that third round, oh, XSET's not going to run that again.
Okay, to be in my defense, they only had 3 players sprinting down mid that round, so it's a completely different idea for me.
I still like it though. I like it. I like it's very gritty. And in your defense of their defense, LG have just been peeking mid every time. It's like without fail. There's Dazzle to jump peek, then he actually looks in. Without fail, it happens. So
a lot of utility being thrown into B main here. They're actually trying to play off of it too. Look at that. XSET even using off of the flash, throwing the nade to clear that spot over by Car. Just really nice. Oh, Dazzle.
Oh, he's even gonna get support here. Viper coming in from behind, who had the pit down low. Down the ramp. Uh-oh! Got with the snake bite out, but that's actually going to help out. They're all vulnerable. Not going to be enough, though. Still boiling down to the 2v3. Resurrection comes through, and you can see XSET wants to fight for that. Oh, slowed down. Moose is going to just barely try to escape. Showstopper in, not going to find its mark. 2v3 now as the cabbages come through. They're all a little bit spread out. The spike is in a very tough spot. One player already resurrected, already down as it's traded by a Proto. Playing close. That's not the wall you want, but it's the wall you'll get. Second. Oh my goodness. The Red Bull clutch for XSET.
Zekin commits to holding down left click, and LG, they just turn the corner, walk straight into it, locking it down. That was a messy round. Just so much utility, just all over the place. Like B main was the first point of contention. Everyone's just chucking it all in there. But then once Sage was able to get the res up in Heaven, I thought A Proto played it so beautifully because he got the res, then put down the slow that allowed all of his teammates to get out of the area so Pure couldn't actually find that critical ultimate. It was almost A Proto just winning the round for his team, but then it all manages to fall apart. Still LG going into this one. They have the lockdown available. Your boy Dre just 1 point away from the showstopper himself, so they should be able to mount a convincing attack here when they decide to commit in towards the side. Of course, coming out of either A or B Heaven with that Raise Rocket, you gain so much aerial supremacy. In a way, you get so much that it's so easy to find targets with your ultimate, just zooming on through, satcheling on in as well. But for the time being, just going to be testing the water over near B. We'll see if Tig actually commits to going for a flank, because he hasn't really done much of it outside of that first round on pistols, I think, where he lurked up through mid.
Lockdown gets plopped in B main, and Once again, we're facing that same situation. Our LG even going to
Your boy Dre has ult.
activate. Okay, he finds the orb, finds the ultimate. Hasn't popped it yet. I like this, but he's out of mobility. There we go. Now it's popped, hoping to find a player. In the meantime, Pure goes on a spree. And oh my, that was a Thanos moment if I've ever seen one. What did it cost you? Everything. As your boy Dre only finds one on the trade, and now Tig, last player standing, gets spotted by Second. That is the biggest feels bad man I've seen all day.
LG spent so much to try and win that round. Oh, it just stings too, because you know LG must have just felt terrible after that first map. You know, XSET just bodied them for the majority of that one. And then all of a sudden coming up, they just line up. A third one even pops in. Oh, man. And it's like the lockdown had gone down, but it didn't really matter. They were still able to get into good positions after that one expired. And now LG, sure, you can say you're not expected to win too many rounds on attack. You can buckle down and try and hold your defenses here. The 9-3 curse is always a very real thing, but you're not intentionally losing rounds to try and guarantee yourself the 9-3 curse. Timo, are you?
Listen, with talk like that, I'm starting to get a bit afraid, okay? Slow it down, okay? I know this isn't your first rodeo, but it's just slow it down on the cast of curses, okay? BCJ survives temporarily. As we're back down to the 2v3, and finally the B site is open season for LG. They'll manage to get the spike down, which means the onus on XSET to retake the site. We haven't seen too much of. Finally, we will.
Oh, the timing of your boy Dre. He just checked vents. There wasn't a player here. Aaron's going to come in a little late. Your boy Dre has to be patient for this, has to get it, and he does. Now you have that pinch. You can actually loop back all the way to B main, or just cut noise and threaten that he's still going back up towards heaven. But it's planted for B main, so that's exactly what he's going to do. I love this. Luminosity have set up the perfect crossfire to shut down the retake from XSET.
Now the big question is, Ender, how does XSET play this out? Cosmic Divide out. No, that feels so bad. That's going to allow him to start the defuse. He's just going to pop out, but the odds of succeeding in that instance are very, very difficult. 7-4, 7-5 wouldn't be too bad considering how this half has gone. It's been 2 rounds for LG and then just domination from XSET since. 7-5 would not be bad.
Absolutely no. LG are definitely not out of this game just yet. They've been able to string together a couple of decent rounds, you know, putting them here and there. Winning the pistol, obviously so big on the attacking side of this map. And it's interesting seeing them switch some things up, because usually the LG have been leaving Tig over towards A for that late lurk. For a second there, it looked like it was going to be Dazzle, but Dazzle does have that ultimate teleport that he can work with. Nice view of the lineup on to B as your boy Dre just continues to go on a rampage.
That can only stop that rampage for the time being, and might have more in the tank where that came from. Are they sure that he left? No, not quite. Second for 3. And now just down to Aaron. A Proto barreling it over towards the B site. Shot's good, and that is spiked down. Now the 1v1 Moose versus Aaron.
How he played this.
The turret gets plopped. Moose is now looking for Aaron. Shots not good enough. Moose coming back like he never left. 7-5 as we move on. Second half.
And you needed Moose to show up right there, because that round almost slipped through the fingers of LG. They're going to take every single round they can get. 5 is exactly what the doctor ordered for them. Maybe 13, but we'll start with 5 on attack for them. They can try to lock it down from here on out. Your boy Dre has looked like a completely different player on the Rays than he did on that Jet on Haven. He is feeling it right now, and been a huge difference in why LG have been able to turn it around and look much better on attack this time. We are going to get into the second half and see whether or not we close out on 2 maps or go to 3 right after this break.
Welcome back. 7-5 is where we sit for what did I
The
do?
crab. We can't escape the crab.
Oh, okay.
Thank you,
Okay.
observers. I appreciate
Yes.
that.
Scuttle Shack. That's where we're chilling. Ender and I at the Scuttle Shack. Not actually. But we're entering into the second half. XSET now on attack in the Scuttle Shack. Bringing it back.
Sorry, last series I said I would beatbox you if you were trying to drop some bars.
You're right. I was
I
doing
tried.
that
I tried my best.
specifically to rile you up. I was trying to get you all jacked up. Now you are, and so are we. 5 seconds left. Pistol ready to go. Let's see how this first round ends up, Ender.
First thing you want to do is chuck your smoke and then leave the site. Fake them out. I like it. I like right now the spike for XSET is actually really far over towards that A side. Def is just holding that sewers push in case anything were to happen, and some B main control. Without XSET sending anyone B main, I think this is going to actually be a hit towards A heaven, which I do like. I don't think we actually saw much of this from Luminosity when they were on the attacking side. The push up towards mid and then into vents, but Aaron's going to get some big information.
He's like, wake up. Aaron's like, wait, huh? Oh, there's players. Oh, okay. BCJ finds one at least, and Aaron's going to join the spike over towards the A side. Still a lot of players here in ropes waiting to pop out. Your boy Dre will be hoping to stop them. They back away.
I love
spike.
this. See, I was really surprised that they were committing into A after knowing that one, or I think they had info on 2 players pushing out of B main, because it's like, if 2 players of B main, you have maybe 1 heaven. That is it. You can surely take the B side, but I think they were trying to get some players to rotate back through fence straight into the waiting arms of Pure and Zek, and still this site is completely open and theirs for the taking. And a bit of a flashback to Haven when it was all left wide open for XSET to come in.
Yeah, planning for B main as well. Aaron doesn't really have any of those particular utility pieces that would put us in a post-plant position, but it doesn't matter. Still playing for B main, watching those flanks. Meanwhile, G are going to be pushing in 3 from heaven and 1 from the back alleyway. Moose is going to be the first contact point potentially. A lot of these XSET members are a little bit low from some of the earlier engagements. Paranoia crew, that's going to find a lot of members, but a counter flash, I like that play, and already it's starting to fall apart here for LG, just down to a proto, hoping to find some success with the jumping classic, but it's not going to be the case. 5-8 XSET with a solid pistol to open up the second half.
Yeah, it was so much patience for them taking control over mid, and then Luminosity getting a little bit over eager, trying to flank out of B main. XSET were waiting, we're ready for it, and pounced the second it happened. And I feel like this is one of those maps, and we probably won't see it as much as rifles start to come into play for both sides, where you can just freely give up that level of control, where you actually are, you can't give up mid control and then also leave your site trying to go for a flank. You have to have someone there to try and slow things down at the very least, because the rounds can get out of your hands very quickly, like we saw from that one with XSET taking full control over vents and B heaven. They have the pick of the litter for where they actually want to end up committing, and once again, XSET are going to be taking things a little bit cautiously here and getting information. I think there is going to be a boy Dre playing over towards vents.
There's a lot of rats, Evan. A lot of rats. XSET don't like rats. I want to be dealing with these shorties and these frenzies. I wonder if it's going to be a more consistent theme for mid control here for LG. Something I'm going to be keeping my eye on. A lot of players now, but it's just the eco, you know? They might just be stacking their bets. Time being.
Yeah, I mean, you can do things later on, like we saw on defense. It was BCJ started putting his wall down in mid a little bit later on into the map, but the smokes enter, and at the same time, the execute comes through. Again, very nicely done from XSET. All their protocols followed to a T there with the wall to cover off alleyway as well. And, well, it's a 5 versus 5, but retaking with a couple of shorties, not ideal, I would say, at the very least.
Oh, great swing there from BCJ. Manages to get up there because he had the wall as well. A little bit of hardcore parkour on in, and Moose did a little bit of that as well as he gets swatted out live. And, okay, this is getting a little bit closer, but eventually XSET tie the bow on the gift and give LG a little present. 5-9 is as we enter into the gun round here for LG.
Curious what the look is going to be for them, you know, because I think A is probably let's fight a little bit more for mid control. You can also take some more aggressive, you know, holds with rifles now that you've got Vandals or Phantoms, whatnot. If you wanted to, as Tig, you can just sort of jiggle peek that B main entrance. Probably not from back on site, not the more aggressive one. If he was playing Jet, I would say go for the more aggressive hold. But on the Viper, probably wanna keep it a little bit more reserved for the time being. A Proto has his hands out, ready to put down a wall at any time. Get to building right there, and that's one you can jump up onto as well. The weakness, of course, being that if you place this wall early in the round, it just can get instantly shot down, and that's exactly what ends up happening. It's a big bonus for XSET as well, so they take some time to get through it, as the two players that did die didn't invest in the rifles. They're holding on to the Sheriffs, knowing that a 4-round advantage, go for the bonus is exactly the right play.
Oh, that Bulldog is out and gone. Okay, Tig trying to hold on to B main, but he's forced off the angle. Slow orb as well, so he can't repeat that. The B control is completely in the hands of XSET, and they're not even letting the B main players survive or like have. Oh wait, hold on. Planning for Ali.
Okay. Oh, I love this. Knowing two players are in B main, they're just going to try and take alley control and regain heaven control. Moose has no idea.
Oh.
Say hello. Now, I mean, how many times have you tried retaking a site playing 2 out of B main while the enemy team just has full control over alley and heaven? This is not something you run into every day.
Yeah, and they've got an upgrade as well for Moose. Dazzle just trying to run away. They'll start those taps, but it's the sprays that are going to be so problematic. And the fact that players are coming in from heaven, Dazzle is able to stop one for now, but there's just too many places to look, too many places to check. And that's round number 10 off of what's technically considered a little bit of a thrifty. XSET came in with hardly anything that round, and they got everything from all these individual plays that happened.
It was 3 Spectres and 2 Sheriffs. That's exactly what it was from XSET, and just the creativity from this team. It is just a pleasure to watch, as on both sides, on both maps we've seen them play thus far, they just have so many different looks that they can show off to us. It feels like their playbook is just, it's less of, you know, a mini, you know, novella, right? You know, a couple dozen pages. No, it's like the Lord of the Rings trilogy stacked end to end to end on your shelf. They just have so many things they can pull from, and they're all like, each one is a little bit crazier than the last, but that's the magic of it that makes it work.
How did you know I had that on my bookshelf?
Spike down.
That's what I want to know. You've got some hidden cameras, man. I don't know what's going on. I don't like it, but you're right.
A magician never reveals his tricks.
Yes, that's true. That's true. Ender the Magician. That's a new hat that you got to put on. You got lots of hats.
Just call me Gandalf.
Yeah, the gray or the white. That's big distinction. Big distinction. Gandalf the gray versus Gandalf the white.
I'm gonna be honest. Is white when he dies? Spoilers. And comes back.
Yes, and he comes back. And he
comes
comes
back.
back. Yeah,
Look, I see.
yeah.
I honestly have no idea what's happening in Lord of the Rings, but I got that one.
How can you make a reference to the books and then not know what Ender?
Well, because the books are long. That's all the reference was. It was just I need a series of books.
That is gonna be weird, champ, for me. A little bit.
Okay. Yo, check out, by the way, on the map right now, because it is just an eco here for Luminosity, but Aaron is just in A heaven right now, just like all the way in there. That is wild. Like, he's gonna have this rotation of A from the second.
Accuracy.
Oh, Moose on the loose, manages to escape, but Aaron is a little bit of a factor. We talked a little bit about the success from Moose, but it's not really going to be long-lived. I was thinking about short-lived for some reason.
Spike planted.
Spike planted. Boy Dre with a Phantom, trying to retake the
You were
site
thinking
alone.
more Hobbit instead of Elf, perhaps?
Yes, I was. Good.
See, I know some things. I'm a little surprised your boy Dre is going for the fight there, although, of course, with them saving this round, even if he picks up a gun and can carry it into the next, you're going to get the money to buy it anyways, so you might as well look for a pick, see if you can get something done by trying to get back in your sight in the 1v3. All the little damage can count, something you can definitely take into your own games. 2 players reaching 20 kills already is always a little bit of fun to see, and look from XSET has been just a little bit different every single time, and you can sort of see how Luminosity are playing it with like an alarm bot now in vents, even with Looks like your boy Dre trying to take a little bit more of an aggressive posture there and play off of a proto rather in B Heaven. But as soon as you get the dog up mid, he's gonna back away from that one. Does not want to deal with that at all.
This round is likely going to be the straw that breaks the camel's back. LG, I think, could start a big momentum shift this round, but they need to win it. Unfortunately, they don't really have a lot of ultimates to work with. They're one away from the lockdown. That could be a point of contention. But XSET has both orbs on lock. Like, you're not getting that at all. And if LG can't bring this one back, then the economy's shot again, and you're at match point for XSET. So this needs to be a clean round from LG. And it's already looking a little bit different that I think might be favorable for LG. 3 players stacked on A, 2 players thinking about the push in, or maybe just holding on to the control point there.
I mean, it's good if they guess right, but as soon as you see, like, the wall gets broken in B Heavens, you can see your boy Dre is not convinced that he actually wants to stick around on A site. Playing back towards stairs there, and now seeing 2 of those cabbages go over towards B. You know you've cleared out Heaven fully. This is really nice, but at the same time that Zekin is taking so much space in B Heaven, it's now the push into A site, and that wall means that Tig doesn't see any of this happening. Now he has info, and he has to show up big here.
Yep, and of course, unfortunate for Tig, he was looking in a little bit of a tougher spot. Aaron stuck in the 50.
By the way, Zekin.
A little bit more. There's Zekin, finds the scoop onto 1, and now he can start to flank from behind. That's a really great nade from Pure, as it's able to help in the battle against Moose, a proto last man standing. And he will not survive the onslaught. That is second. 12-5, match point, series point, XSET on point. This could all be over here, as they will move on, where LG start the 7-round comeback. 7 rounds.
Just feels like Luminosity are playing a little bit scared, you know, surrendering so much space over to XSET. And XSET have been able to get some players in just nasty positions, like Zekin playing up in B7 stairs. The round before, it was Aaron all the way pushed up into A Heaven, just in these ridiculous spots that should not be happening. And LG just keep on guessing, like, is it going to be an A hit? Is it going to be a B hit? They've got 4 leaning over towards B, but the fluidity of how XSET play these mid-round situations off the information they've been able to gather has been just about perfect. All you can ask for. So once they get the info, once a dog goes up, unless it gets broken almost instantly, you're going to get info of 2, maybe 3 players in A Heaven, and instantly you may see that attack go through over towards A. Your boy Dre gets shot before he can even use the showstopper.
That's like, that's, I don't want to call it there, but that is like the last ditch effort to salvage something. Right, showstopper, find a multi-kill, maybe find 1, convert onto a second, something like that, chain something together. You even saw the paranoia from Dazzle early. I wonder if it was intentional that it was supposed to be paired up with showstopper. Doesn't matter. They've got a showstopper of their own. A proto ends up falling. Everyone is crumbling to pieces as XSET will move. No, will they move along though? Moose. No, Moose. Unfortunate for Moose. He was not able to come up big. 13